Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a book review on One by One by Ruth Ware. In One by One by Ruth Ware, a tech startup company sends its employees on a ski trip in the French Alps to go over a potential buyout offer. As tensions and loyalties are tested, a snowstorm is brewing, resulting in an avalanche that leaves the group stranded. The hours pass, and slowly the group begins to dwindle, one by one. So let's start off here, yeah guys. This is definitely another really fantastic book by Ruth Ware, but I will let it be known, I definitely wouldn't say this is my favorite by Ruth Ware. I think there's definitely about probably three other books. There's probably three other books that I would put above this one. But still, even though this is not my favorite, this is still like a really good book, I think. I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I think some of my issues with this particular book, it did reach a certain point in the novel that I felt like things were kind of a little bit monotonous, kind of dragging unnecessarily, and it kind of reached a point too that it seemed very predictable, and by the time some things were kind of revealed at a pivotal point in the book, I was like, okay, I kind of was already assuming and guessing that to begin with. And yeah, Ruth Ware didn't really do anything to, you know, go beyond what I was expecting, or she didn't have some wild or crazy twist, unfortunately. This book is kind of just very, I think, very standard when it comes to like a mystery thriller, which isn't a bad thing, you know. I mean, not all of her books are going to be, you know, a hit, but yeah, I would definitely say this is one of the more standard mysteries from her, because there's to me there's not like a big shocking plot twist, because I think because if you've read plenty of mysteries and thrillers, it kind of reaches a point in this book that you're kind of expecting certain things, you're already kind of predicting certain things, you've kind of already kind of figured things out before the characters have even kind of figured things out. So yeah, there's that. And like I said, I felt like the book kind of moved a little slowly and it was kind of dragging things out unnecessarily. And the thing is, this book is like, my version is 368 pages. It's 368 pages. And there were just many times in this book that it's like certain things would kind of happen and it would feel like, well, we kind of just went over this. I feel like we're just kind of repeating the steps over and over. Like, to me, it felt like Ruth Ware didn't have enough plot to fill in the cracks in this book. You know, it's like she had her initial concept, she had her beginning, and, you know, built up the beginning and kind of got to the middle, and it's kind of the middle where the book seems to struggle, like it's not quite sure what to do. It's like it needs to do something to help lengthen the narrative, and she just kind of throws in some things and they all kind of feel a little repetitive and monotonous after a while, because yeah, it could have reached a certain point in this book that you could have just jumped from the stuff happening in the beginning and could have just headed straight to the ending, and some of the middle could have just maybe been chopped out, really, when you think about it. But yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like Ruth Ware just did not have enough filler to kind of fill in some of the cracks to make things a little bit more interesting and compelling. It's like she kind of didn't quite know what to do, it felt like to me anyway. And another thing, I mentioned this book is just kind of standard when it comes to the mystery thriller genre. The whole plot element of the story is probably something you've seen a million times anyway, you know. Co-workers, employees, they all go somewhere for a trip and they all get stranded together, and of course they all start dying off. Something crazy's happening. I mean, that's kind of what this book is, you know. That's all this book is some employees all get together to go over this potential buyout offer. There's the people who are pro, there's the people who are con, there's tensions and loyalties are tested, and of course there's an avalanche, you guys. They're all here in the French Alps, and of course there's a freaking avalanche. What else are you going to expect? And of course they're stranded, they're freezing, things are getting dire. And another frustrating thing about this book, you guys, these characters, you know, I'm fine with unlikable characters, because sometimes unlikable characters can make for the best characters sometimes, because they're more relatable. Unlikable characters, when you think about it, they're the type of people that are the most human and the most realistic, because that's why you don't like them. That's why you call them unlikable characters. Because they are the most realistic, and you know people like that in real life. But yeah, the thing is, this book, oh my god, this book has some unlikable characters. Good lord. I didn't particularly really like anybody in this book. I did like one, because the book is narrated by two people. There's Erin. Erin is like the guest relations person at the ski resort. She's there to greet everybody. She's there to supply for everyone's comfort. I did like Erin. Erin is perhaps the most likable character here. And then you have Liz, who is your other narrator, and Liz, I think you definitely do like Liz compared to like all the other people. Liz is a former employee at this, she's a former employee from this company, and you know that something has transpired. Why did she leave the company, and why, if she left, then why is she here back at this resort with all these people she couldn't stand, you know? So yeah, Erin and Liz are definitely your most likable of the characters. But yeah, everybody else, oh my god. Everybody has just big egos, big personalities. The thing is, though, I gotta give Ruth Ware this, though. Ruth Ware creates this, what the tech startup company is. It's basically an app. The app is called Snoop, and it's a way to, it's like a social media thing, and it's a way for people to snoop on people's music preferences. Like if I was listening to something right now on my phone, and I had my Snoop app up, whatever I was listening to, whoever my followers were, they can see in real time what I'm listening to, and they can check it out. You know, that's the extent of what this app is. It's just a way to spy and snoop on people, their music choices, and learn about new artists that maybe you've never heard of before. That's the extent of the app. So Ruth Ware, what she kind of does brilliantly here, what I just, because I was getting some giggles out of, even though these people were totally unlikable and irritating, the thing is, the tech startup is created by a bunch of millennials. It's created by a bunch of millennials, but it's believable. You know, it's believable. It's believable that they would all come up with this app. It's believable that they would all have big egos. It's believable that they would all be pretty irritating. So yeah, even though I didn't like a lot of these people, it's like I bought it. You know, I bought just how irritating and kind of irresponsible these people would be. And once again, I mean, that's the world we're living in right now when you think about it. The world we're living in right now is very much like social media is everything. Social media is key. And I think that's kind of one of the big things that Ruth Ware is kind of playing with in this book, is definitely this role and idea of social media, how it's incorporated into our lives, what it does with our lives. So yeah, as much as the whole, because I didn't like the app, I was sitting there thinking, if this app existed in real life, I wouldn't use it. It's just nothing that really calls out to me, you know? I mean, I don't even use Twitter, you guys. I don't even use Twitter myself. I don't use Facebook. I'm mostly just here on YouTube. YouTube is the extent of my social media experience, you guys. So yeah, Snoop would definitely just not be anything that would interest me. But yeah, I really liked what Ruth Ware was doing with the idea of the Snoop app and these millennials that created it and their personalities. And just to go back, because I already mentioned your two narrators, the book, it kind of goes back and forth. You have Erin, like I said, she's the guest relations host, and then you have Liz, who used to work at the Snoop company. Kind of going back to them really quickly, I did like them as the two narrators of this book. At first, I initially couldn't separate their voices at first. It took me it only took me a few chapters. Once I got past the first couple chapters, I was able to kind of visualize these two women, get their voices, their individual voices down. It only kind of takes just a couple chapters there. Just kind of bear with it as you're trying to get organized in your head about, what's going on here, who's who, who are these women. So yeah, I do think Ruth Ware did a good enough job of really distinguishing the voices of Liz and Aaron. That way, whenever, the chapters do flip-flop, because they flip-flop every couple pages pretty much, you're able to quickly get right back into the headspace of that particular character with no difficulty, which was really good. So, like I said, I'm probably going to do this. I'm probably going to update every time I read a Ruth Ware book. I'm probably going to update this list. If this is not one of my favorite books by Ruth Ware, what are my favorite books then? Let's kind of do an update here. I think one of my favorites at the moment is definitely still The Death of Mrs. Westaway. I freaking loved The Death of Mrs. Westaway, you guys. And then I think I got to put The Woman in Cabin 10 next. That was the very first Ruth Ware book I read that got me even interested to continue reading her books. And then probably The Turn of the Key. I really love Turn of the Key. And then I probably would put this book next. You guys, this book would probably definitely go next. And then what do I have in fifth? Oh, The Lying Game. I could not get into The Lying Game, you guys. I had such a difficult time with The Lying Game. And yeah, I have not read In a Dark, Dark Wood yet, so that is not on this list. I need to get around to that, you guys. I need to get to that one. So, should you read this book or not? Even though this is not the best of Ruth Ware, I still recommend this if you've read and enjoyed all of her other books, just to give this a shot. I definitely recommend this book if you like stories about people, co-workers especially, trapped together in an enclosed space, and there's an avalanche, they can't do nothing, they're all freezing, it's dire circumstances. I also recommend this book kind of just for some of the themes that this explores. Like I mentioned, it explores the role of social media in our lives. It also really explores kind of employee and employer relationships and the responsibility placed on an employer to his employees. So yeah, there's a lot of little details kind of in there once you kind of dig into the main story. So yeah, if you like any of that, this is probably going to be good for you. So you guys, that's it for my book review. Have you read this book? Do you like it? And are you going to continue checking out Ruth Ware in the future? Because I certainly am. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.